You're listening to Short History Shorts audio, where history speaks louder than images. The Roman conquest of Veii was not merely a victory. It was the first major sign that Rome was no longer content to be a city fending off invaders, but a force with ambitions to dominate central Italy. Set in the early 4th century BC, this clash between Rome and its longtime Etruscan rival Veii unfolded over years of grueling siege, political change and myth-making. Veii, located just 12 miles from Rome, had long been a thorn in the side of the early Republic. Wealthy, fortified and entrenched in Etruscan tradition, the city posed a direct challenge to Roman influence in the Tiber Valley. The two cities had engaged in skirmishes for centuries, but it was only with the full-scale campaign of the early 400s BC that Rome made its move to decisively remove Veii from the political map. This was not a single year of conflict. The war stretched across more than a decade, and in many ways transformed Rome more than it broke Veii. Early battles were inconclusive, fought with seasonal campaigning and cautious commitment. But as the years dragged on, the pressure to resolve the war pushed Rome into new territory, both militarily and politically. The man most associated with Rome's victory is Marcus Furius Camillus, a figure who strides the line between myth and history. Appointed as dictator, a special temporary office with supreme powers, Camillus was tasked with ending the siege once and for all, and he did so with both brute force and strategic cunning. Under his command, the Romans are said to have built massive siege works, diverted waters, and eventually tunnelled beneath the city walls in one of the earliest examples of subterranean siege warfare in Roman history. Whether this dramatic detail is true or exaggerated, the outcome was certain. Veii fell. The sack of Veii was brutal, echoing a pattern that would become familiar across the Republic's conquests. The population was slaughtered or sold into slavery, and the city's wealth and religious icons were paraded back to Rome. Most famously, the cult statue of Juno Regina, the patron goddess of Veii, was ritually invited to come to Rome, symbolizing the transfer not just of territory, but of divine favor. This act, half conquest, half religious assimilation, would become a hallmark of Roman warfare, and the fall of Veii was the first time Rome enacted it on such a scale. The conquest also signalled a change in how Rome perceived itself. For the first time, Rome permanently occupied a defeated city, integrating its land into Roman territory. Thousands of Roman citizens were relocated to the former Etruscan stronghold. This was no longer a city-state defending its borders, it was a republic expanding them. Domestically, the victory stirred intense political changes. The long war had strained the Roman economy and sparked renewed debate over land distribution, military service, and the burden borne by the plebeians, the common class. Though Camillus was lauded as a saviour, his triumph was followed by exile due to accusations of embezzling war spoils. The same general who delivered victory would later return to save Rome again, but his fall from grace shows just how turbulent the aftermath of Veii's fall was. And yet, for Rome, this was a critical turning point. The defeat of Veii shattered Etruscan power in Latium and set a precedent for future Roman military doctrine. Conquest was no longer about seasonal raiding or border skirmishes. It was about annihilation, absorption and expansion. From this moment forward, Rome was no longer just defending its home. It was building an empire. The Roman conquest of Veii revealed the Republic's growing military sophistication, political volatility, and appetite for dominance. And while Veii faded into the dust of history, Rome began its march towards becoming the unrivaled power of the ancient world. Now, if you enjoyed this deep dive into early Roman expansion, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more episodes every few days. You're listening to Short History Shorts audio, where history speaks louder than images.